Good afternoon, everyone. Our opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us, whole and complete, is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. We will this be done within and without. May we come to recognize that receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven ourselves when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led in temptation by the voice of separation, but instead we transcend all illusions, for ours is the power, love, and peace of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all and as our birthright as the holy extensions of love itself. Our affirmation of faith. We believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. Our 5 Christ principles. 1. There is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love, at all times active in everyone, everywhere. 2. We are divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. 3. We create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4. Through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. 5. We express our desires to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs. Give, live, love, and forgive, and be happy.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone who is here, those watching, and those who will watch later this week. Welcome to the Church of Christ Consciousness. We really are here for those who are ready to live the truth of their being. Today I want to talk about something that I think we think a lot about, but we never really discuss it, and that's trust. And today, I want to start it with this, because trust is found when you can change your perception from one thing to another. So I like to say to people, when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what lesson is in this for me, everything changes. But there's a level of trust that goes from that first question to the second. So let's look at the first question that most people ask themselves. Why is this happening to me? Well, number one, that question comes from a place of victimhood. Because only a victim can ask, how is this happening to me? And I'm speaking about emotional victimhood, all right? Leave the physical victimhood out of it for just a moment. I'm talking about emotional victimhood. Why is this happening to me? And recognize that to be an emotional victim is to live in powerlessness. And if you live in powerlessness, then in truth you have no trust. You do not trust anyone, anything, much less yourself. And that's what I am here to get everyone hopefully energized, that it's all right. Trust yourself. Now, you can't trust this. And I cannot trust this. And I want everyone to recognize, why is that? Because our thoughts can be deceiving. They will deceive us. But what can we trust? We can trust our heart. And when our heart is open, we will hear everything that we need to hear. We will hear the guidance, the direction, and we will know. What do we carry in our hearts? We carry wisdom. The mind is knowledge. And right now I'm not speaking of intellectual understanding or intellectual knowledge. When you come from the heart first, then you will have knowledge, because the heart is where wisdom, it is the seat of wisdom. Then the heart lets you know exactly what you need to know, when you need to know it, and how you need to know it. There's no thought involved in it at all. But what I want everyone to recognize is, this is where the trust is. You can trust your feelings. Now, does that mean every once in a while you may not get angry? Of course, we all do. We'll feel anger. But if you are in trust, when that anger arises, you won't ask, why is this happening to me? And instead you will say, what is this experiencing trying to teach me? What lesson is in this for me? Because in truth, no one can make you angry. No one can make you upset. You choose the feelings that you would have. So love and trust are the flip side of the same coin. You cannot have love if you don't have trust. If you don't have trust, there's no love. But if you have trust, there's love. But love and trust go together hand in hand. And they become the flip side to responsibility. Because if you are owning what you're feeling, if you truly own what you are experiencing, you won't be a victim. You will accept responsibility for it. And now, if something's not going right to what you believe it should be, you will say, what is the lesson here? What is it? What is in this that I am to learn? And if you will remain quiet for just long enough, you will know what the lesson is. And once you learn the lesson, you don't have to repeat. So this brings me to something that's rather huge. If you are in victim mentality, you just are on the wheel. You're on what I call the hamster wheel. The people, the story may change, but you're still a victim. No matter what happens, you end up being the victim. You end up feeling powerless. Well, nothing changed. The universe, God is trying to get you to recognize something needs changing. But you don't trust in the process. You don't trust to change that needs changing. Because you're not even looking at it. You're not looking for it. But when you come from the question, what is this trying to teach me? Now you're looking for it. And when you find it and you make the change, you're off the hamster wheel. And you never have to repeat it again. It's done. You've learned the lesson. It's time for a new lesson. So you're not just repeating the same lesson over and over. The only reason that you would be repeating a lesson over and over is because you never learned the lesson to begin with. You never learned what was there for you. And if you'll recognize now the third thing, and that is the lesson is the gift to you. It is the gift from the universe, the gift from God to help you become the person that you really are meant to be. That is what the lesson is always about. No matter what the circumstance is within the lesson, it is always meant to help you be more, what? Loving, trusting, compassionate, joyful. There's not much joy in being a victim, is there? Nobody likes being a victim. Nobody likes being powerless. And have you ever met anyone who stays trapped in victimhood? The best I can describe them is miserable. And you don't really want to be around them for a long time because misery loves company. And if you're around them, you'll find yourself beginning to play in the misery with them. And then the next thing you know, you've bought into victimhood once again. Now, does that mean not to be around people like that? Of course not. Be aware that when you are around them, what is happening. And then you can be, as Miss Bobby would say, a lighthouse. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. You don't have to say anything. Certainly, we don't have to judge the person for where they are. In fact, we're not supposed to. But we can do one thing. We can demonstrate there is a different way. There is another way. We do not have to play in victimhood. We can instead play in ownership. And notice I'm calling it ownership rather than responsibility. When we own what is happening, we're no longer in resistance. When we can own the situation that we're involved in, that's happening right there with us, we are in our power, so we're not in resistance. Victimhood deals with resistance, powerlessness. Ownership involves the understanding, I'm in this. There's something here, a gift, a lesson for me. If I will stay calm, stay at peace, and ferret it out. When we claim ownership, here's the beauty. We're allowing all things to happen, to unfold naturally without judging any part of the experience. When we're in ownership, we embrace all things. We're in resistance to nothing. And when we allow and embrace all things, we naturally trust all things. And when we allow, embrace, and trust, we transcend it. And that lesson is over, for we have overcome it. And this is what the Christ was teaching us. But in order to do that, we must turn within, look within, and always be rigorously honest with ourselves. What are we feeling? What are we thinking? And recognize that nothing out there is the cause of what we're thinking and feeling. We are the cause. The power is within us. So I will leave you with this. Victimhood is out here. power is in here. Your true power, which rests in ownership, which is founded upon allowance, embracing, and trusting to transcend, is within each one of us, for that is Christ consciousness. But it's our choice. Do we live it? Do we demonstrate it? Do we be it? Or do we turn our life over to the world and let whatever happen, and then feel miserable and like a victim? The choice is ours. I don't know about you. I like the peace, the joy, the happiness that comes from owning my experiences. And I hope that you will do the same. So spend this week as you go through certain things and ask yourself, do I feel like a victim to this? Or can I recognize that there's something here for me to learn so that I can grow and to be more like Christ? Thank you.
Let's take just a moment today and settle in our chairs, get relaxed, breathe in grace, and breathe out. Breathe in grace, and breathe out. Breathe in grace, and breathe out. Ponder this for just a moment. Trust is when you can change your perception. Let's breathe in and breathe out. As you sit here in this moment, and you set the pace of your breathing to your natural state, ask yourself, Lord, what would you have me learn today? Breathe in and breathe out. And as you go into your week, ask yourself, what lessons, what gifts are there for me in this moment?
I'd like to thank everyone who's here, everyone watching, those who will watch later this week. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring the service to a close. So if you would, silently say with me our closing prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. For we give, we receive, we have, and we are through love, and love, by love. Amen. Have a great one this week, guys.